Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing World Series.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, everybody. This is Cam Walsh with Hugo Lee on the camera. A little late on the commentary, but thankfully Hugo Lee has been bringing you great pictures here on RaceSpotTV, bringing you the 16th Street racing round here at Barber. Road course racing for the fast DW12. As I am just getting situated right now. Apparently, if you work in an ambulance, you need to learn about Ebola. I hear that's important, but then what's important right now is these beautiful DW12s romping around Barber Motorsports Park, which always brings great action to us, as right now we are looking at the battle for P2 between Michael De Jong and Christopher Demerit. Now, I've had my quick little PowerPoint briefing here on what's happened, and just does the commentary here to come on in. We started on lap 1 a large wreck involving a couple of cars. I have 4 cars that are listed as being out. Tim Holgate spun and had collected a number of other cars. Tim Holgate out, Tim Miller out, Vic Caldeal out, and Dustin Ollis is the last car on track, I believe. No, he's out. Jonathan Goke is off track as well. The last running car right now is Pierre Bourdon. Then that is 6 laps down. Ryan Norton not on track. Brian Simpson is on track. Chuck Eisenbarth, I guess the last true running car. Only 9 cars on the lead lap as we are joining lap 25 here. This is going to be a little strange with me flying solo here today. Not normally the sole commentator. Normally we do have the great voices of Will Vincent, but he is out today doing something involving some hand egg and some pigskin, I guess, something. But anyways, we are currently right now, as I said, lap number 28 with Matt Pavelski in the lead. With Michael De Jong in second, Christopher Demerit in third, Nigel Marnif in fourth, and Brendan Lichtenberg is in 5th position. Yeah, okay. We're on that. Okay. Right now, Michael De Jong and Christopher Demerit are still fighting for P2. I'm guessing this has been going on for some time as they go too wide in through one of the corners there. They did make wheel-to-wheel contact as somebody spun out there. That is Pierre Bourdon, one of our slower cars that's well off the pace. But right now, Michael De Jong and Christopher Demerit are fighting right now for P2, as Matt Pavelski seems to have just absolutely pulled away from them. That it seems that both Michael De Jong, Christopher Demerit, and Nigel Marnif is 27 seconds behind the current leader, Matt Pavelski. That is a massive gap. Here as I sit down looking through the fields right now, it's very hard to, with these 2 great competitors are fighting for P2, which I guess is the best of the rest. As Nigel Marnif, yes, he is off. I do see Nigel Marnif has gone off into the grass and onto the dirt there. He will get back underway after losing a few positions there. But as action is fast and furious here at Barber, it is a little tight and it is very fast. You've got quite a few sweeping corners with a couple very off-camber quick turn-ins. So action has always been here in both the real Dallara DW12 and our virtual one here on iRacing, as Nigel Marnif seems to be getting back underway without any problems at all whatsoever. As I keep looking here to this great battle between Christopher Demerit and Michael De Jong, actually, as Demerit is ahead of Michael De Jong, able to pull off a pass at one point going on the inside. I believe that's when they made contact. It looks like it was just a rim-to-rim, side-to-side, so no damage between the 2 cars, between Christopher Demerit and Michael De Jong, as the new P4 car is Brendan Lichtenberg, as Nigel Marnif drops down to 5th position, as the traffic seems to have merged here definitely, as all the leaders are just rushing through about the middle of the pack of cars, the middle field runners. Your P13 to P20 right now, the leaders are running through So traffic is getting very busy, and I do see this gap here growing every lap between Matt Pavelski, our current race leader, and Christopher Demeritte and Michael DeJong, those two fighting. Maybe they've just settled that Matt Pavelski's speed is just too much, as the battle seems to have separated quite nicely. Lap cars are letting them through very good, which is always much more difficult on some ovals, as we saw at Phoenix last week. But here on a road course, there's enough off-track areas that don't ruin your lap that doesn't seem to me like there's been a lot of trouble between lapped cars and leader cars. But this is still about halfway through the race. This is lap 31 of, I think it was 54 laps we might be running, or 58 laps, 51 maybe, I don't know, somewhere in the 50s. So right now we're about 20 laps to go, and we've already had our pit stops. We did have pit stops around, let's see here, lap 19 to lap 21. Everyone came in through the pits in that 3-lap window. So with that on the way and out of the way, I just have to keep looking at this gap between Matt Pavelski and Christopher Demeritte, the second place running car. This is just a huge gap, even just in road course racing, as Michael DeJong has spun it out. As we quickly look to him, now a huge gap now between Christopher Demeritte and Michael DeJong, as I don't believe he picked up any damage. We're going to look at that on the replay. Let's see here. It just looks like he was following closely behind, and I've actually lost that. That part isn't on my screen, but he recovered. I don't believe he made contact, as it blinked out on my screen, but he is underway, as one of our only fights on the field as it is now off. So racing is very difficult here at Barber, I think. This is quite a one-lane track, so it's difficult to find your way around another car. Now, he might have been trying to either set something up on his own, but either way, he has recovered. But there is now a 7-second gap between Christopher Demeritte, that play quite nicely here. There don't seem to be any huge battles on the field right now, as everyone is kind of settling in this middle stint. I believe there's going to be one more round of pit stops, but I could be mistaken. This could be a one-stopper, as I hear as somebody goes off and has an accident. That is, yep, Randy Crosno. I was able to hear it all the way up here in the blimp. He has ended his race almost on the last turn. I believe this is the final turn, turn 16, turn 15 to 16. Looks like he just got on the gas a little too soon, and the rear end stepped out on him, and his front nose just absolutely was demolished on some Armco. He pulls off the track, which is the right thing to do rather than sitting there, and his day will be done. So with that brief little action here, I seem to be looking around, and I think the plan of attack here today at Barber is, well, just trying to stay alive at this point. Everyone seems to be exactly spaced apart. As somebody comes into the pits, Brian R. Simpson in P24 comes down pit lane. Now, this could be for fuel, this could be for tires, or this could be for repairs. As I will look at his car. His car seems to have some rear wing damage, but other than that, as they do lift up, they do go get tires. They are going to put 4 tires on that number of laps. This could be, I can't imagine that people would start pitting less than 10 laps after they make their pits, but this could be an alternate strategy. Of course, being in P24, there's not really much to be gained, so he could just be putting the fuel into the end and going from there. As I'll look back up ahead here to Matt Pavelski, our race leader. Now, he qualified in first as he started first on the grid. And, of course, I don't have those times anymore due to the new single window results here. But, you know, these things happen. Someday I'll get advanced like my fellow commentators and get some snazzy overlay that tells me what to say. Which I think would be to the benefit of everybody involved. But Matt Pavelski qualified P1 as our P2 car, I believe, was Tim Holgate. Yes, as he, of course, ended his race on lap 1. And that was just too bad, as Tim Holgate was last week's winner at Phoenix. As we now are going to a battle for position 10 now between and the leaders in the pit road. See, I'm on replay. Aha! See, now we go. Now if we advance a minute, now everything makes sense. Okay, Matt Pavelski, just as I was saying, is now coming into pit lane. This is lap 36, of course, so that's a much better time window, as I was saying, for pits. As Matt Pavelski is in the pits, getting his 4 fresh tires and the fuel to the finish, as that has got to be definitely the final pit stop of the day for that car, Matt Pavelski. Christopher Demerit isn't even on the final stretch. That is how much of a gap Matt Pavelski has pulled, as Christopher Demerit does not pit. So this gap is going to be even larger once Michael DeJong and Christopher Demerit pit. Now, interesting, Michael DeJong is picked up P2. Yes, Christopher Demerit must have had to spin his last lap as a 1:16.904. Michael DeJong was a 1:06. So Demerit must have spun out at some point here at Barber, which is rather easy to do, I will say. As somebody who hasn't actually raced here at Barber, I can tell you from the commentary I've done is Demerit spins again. He spins again on the front stretch. The final turn, turn 16, the rear ends give out. He might have to go to the pits just to get tires, let alone the fuel window, as the rear end absolutely lost it. Coming off as he was getting down onto the power, it just looks like that car very unstable, very unsettled, exiting that final corner, as he now loses position to Brendan Lichtenberg, as Lichtenberg picks up now P3, as there are a couple of back-marked cars going into the pits. Ray Kingsbury had gone to the pits. Nigel Marneef has gone into the pits, so it'll be very interesting to see where Michael DeJong tries to picture where he's going to get his fuel window. Now, of course, the longer on track he is, the less fuel he has to take to the finish, but I'm just not sure if he will have anything for Matt Pavelski. Matt Pavelski has done a very good job. He's got, it says only a 13-second gap, but ultimately, Michael DeJong does go into the pits. So that 13-second gap, as I was about to say, is due to a pits. It's more of like 30 seconds behind, as Michael DeJong going down pit lane right now, very slow, 44 miles an hour on that pit limiter, as he pulls in and will get tires and fuel as well. The car looking very well handy today, as he will kick it into high gear and get it out of the pits. Now, pit exit is rather interesting here at Barber. It can create some issues as it comes right out. You have to come right across into that turn 2 there, as there are quite a few elevation changes and whatnot. But Michael DeJong has no issues getting out, as I believe Christopher Demerit has also entered the pits, and now he has entered the pits and he is on his way. It'll be interesting to see where Brendan Lichtenberg picks his time to go in. He might be coming in this lap, as we do run through these second stint of pit stops here at Barber in the 16th Street Racing League. As everyone's looking to get behind Matt Pavelski. And I was going to say Michael DeJong has minimized that gap, but that's actually the gap from Brendan Lichtenberg is 24 seconds between Matt Pavelski and Brendan Lichtenberg. That is a monumental gap, especially considering that this is after pits. Brendan Lichtenberg has not pitted, and as Michael DeJong and Christopher Demerit has, Andreas Werner in the meantime will pick up P3, as he is having a very good race. Even though he will lose 2 or 3 positions to the pits, he started his race in 12th position, and now he's up to 3rd, at least for the time being. He's keeping that spot warm for Michael DeJong or Christopher Demerit, however they come into the pits. Now, I'm just looking at Matt Pavelski cut his way through traffic. He's doing a very good job being patient behind lapped cars, and the lapped cars are doing a very good job of keeping out of his way. That's always nice to see, as it's actually rather interesting here, as Matt Pavelski is coming up onto the rear end of Christopher Demerit. So Christopher Demerit, somebody who's going to be rather high in the positions once everyone goes and takes a pit stop, is almost going to be getting lapped by the leader. Matt Pavelski is putting on an absolute show here in speed, as he is here 47 minutes into this race, lap 39. He is lapped all the way up to 7th position, as he looks to lap Christopher Demerit, and thus ruining my overlay even more by only showing a -1L. I only have so many cars to look at, the gaps now, but he is putting on an absolute show. It looks like Brandon Lichtenberg will have nothing. I believe the only other driver right now that's even dipped into the 104s as far as lap time goes is Michael De Jong, and he's stuck back in 5th position right now, as he will get past one of those lapped cars. Now, it just looks like everybody is doing a good job so far. These lapped cars, we had some issues here at Phoenix, and that was a concern, as we did have a lot of cautions at Phoenix and quite a few incidents, which brought, well, quite a bit of unhappiness between the drivers, but everyone on track has behaved so far today. Yes, there are about 7 or 8 cars that are off, but right now everyone seems to be doing a good job of letting the leaders through, as Christopher Demerit will yield a position to Matt Pavelski, putting him a lap down. It'll be interesting to see if and when Brandon Lichtenberg is going to go to the pits. I'm almost wondering, did he take his second pit stop? As if he did, he's played his cards right, and he will end up in 2nd position, but I still just think he has to make another pit. The same thing with Andreas Werner. Werner, unless he's that, yeah, okay. He is not the green car, so I saw the green car in the pits there. That car is Rob Ungelex, who's in P12. So it's just going to be interesting to see if Andreas Werner or Brendan Lichtenberg have gas to get to the finish, as there's somebody else on the pit lane, that is John Prozak, who is in P10, so the top 10 driver right now entering the pit lane. This split strategies here is very interesting, as we don't have a typical caution. Of course, we did have safety car in the very beginning of the race for that incident with Tim Holgate and quite a few other cars that got torn up. So no yellows here to really bring the field back together. So this split strategy is working very well here to at least bring us some action at Barber Motorsports Park. It's just good to see these cars having such different fuel strategies. Matt Pavelski pitted almost 10 laps ago, and there are still cars coming in to open up their fuel window. So it's always interesting to see these split level fuel estimations. Oh, there he comes. Brendan Lichtenberg is now on pit road. I looked just as he peeled off at turn 15. And Matt Pavelski has spun the car. Well, pit stops are one thing, but when the leader spins, you have to cut into that for sure. It looks like it was a reaction to another car spinning in front of him. We will definitely look at that on the replay. I believe that was Joe Branch ahead of him. Yes, it was. Who was entering the corner, saw the leader either got on the brake or something happened, and he locked it up and spun it out. Matt Pavelski, purely reactionary, got on the brakes and had to park the car on the inside of that turn. Now, he will get back underway, but Brendan Lichtenberg was in the pits while that was happening. He was in P2. Michael De Jong is now going to be picking up, I believe, P2 from Brendan Lichtenberg, which he will. So Michael De Jong is now in P2 and is still, well, I'd like to say that closed the field up nicely, but it really didn't. Matt Pavelski has so much space as he still makes his way through these lapped cars. He's still doing a very good job of it. Other than that reactionary spin, which he was able to keep it out of the inside wall, that in itself gets a cookie there, as Matt Pavelski able to live to fight another day. That is quite the scare there when you're the leader of the race. You've been the leader of the race for the entire race. You've got less than 10 laps to go, and you almost lose it. to a lapped car. That would have been a little tragic for Matt Pavelski, but Michael DeJong would have been salivating if that had happened, but it did not. Now, the gap between Matt Pavelski and Michael DeJong is still monumental. It's still half of the racetrack to go, as we are running about minute laps, about a minute and 6.4 for Michael DeJong, and a 106.8 for Matt Pavelski. He's had a fastest lap of a 103.7, and there's only two other cars, one being Tim Holgate, who's retired, who's even dipped into the 104s. So for Matt Pavelski to be going, to have his fastest lap being a full second in race, as somebody spun out in front of him, Brian R. Simpson, at the same corner. I believe these guys are now pushing their tires out. Brian R. Simpson having spun out right in front of Matt Pavelski as well. But starting to wonder where these tires are going to start letting go, or if they're even going to make them. Maybe some setup changes. Maybe these tires were really meant to be on qualifying and they just added more fuel or something without properly adjusting the car, which does happen a lot. I do it chronically, as these long road course races do change the tires a lot, lap after lap after lap, as well as ovals, but these roads, a lot more going on, I believe, in the cambers and the suspension, so tire pressures and tire temperatures fluctuate so much that it's interesting to see how different these setups can be, as Matt Pavelski doing a very good job making his way through this lap traffic now, as how if he he's so far ahead, actually, as he's in Sector 2. Michael DeJong is just passing the start-finish line and starting his race. It's starting his lap there, but following closely behind Michael DeJong is Nigel Marneef. Marneef is about 4 or 5 seconds behind Michael DeJong. They can definitely see each other, as Brendan Lichtenberg is also behind there, but it's interesting to see how these guys' races have done out. Now, of course, a lot of these cars are very fast on the oval. It's good to see these guys, these other names, these unnotable names here that you don't normally see. Now, of course, Tim Holgate would have been able to put on quite a show, as he would have started in second position, but as well as Ryan Norton, who started in third position, were both off track. As Matt Pavelski, whom was not able to finish at Phoenix. He had an incident with, I believe it was Nefri. I believe it was Nefri at Phoenix, and going in through the dog leg, an incident that him and Nefri both talked about and was rather cool-headed about, which was good to see coming out of Phoenix, a track that, well, left a lot of people with a lot of different emotions for sure. And Matt Pavelski now recovering, as we are in the, I think, closing 5 laps. I believe this is a 51-lap race. As the 11 has spun, that is going to be for position 17, Eric Davis. Eric Davis spun out, and he is now in the pits. Yep. Yeah, I was about to say he's been in the pits for a while, as Hugo Louis, the ever-watchful eye, corrects me, as there's the number 53 car, so my apologies there. But, yep, Rob Unglex there, he had a spin, but, you know, it's just interesting to see how these guys are doing. Looking at the top 10, it's a lot of names that are normally mid-packers, and of course that can be because some people just can't keep up on these ovals, so they might not have the beautiful engineering that a lot of these top-tier teams are, but road courses always seem to be an equalizer between all these different cars. Matt Pavelski doing a good job up front, Michael DeJong doing a good job up front, Nigel Marneef doing a good job up front. And as Nigel Marneef and Brendan Lichtenberg have traded places, I believe Nigel Marneef has spun somewhere. I'm going to just look back real quick. Did Nigel Marneef have a spin? Yes, he did. He spun it in the same place that Matt Pavelski spun it on lap 47 there. as it looked like to me he just got on the power and ended up rooster-tailing it into a circle. So now we have now we have these cars less than 2 seconds away from each other. From between for the final P3 position, Brendan Lichtenberg and Nigel Marneef. Now Marneef getting through one of the lapped cars he is just one straightaway away from the car of Brendan Lichtenberg. So it will be interesting to see if Nigel Marneef does have anything for Brendan Lichtenberg. It seems to me that they've been running similar lap times all race long. So we'll see if maybe there will be a little bit of blood in the water with Nigel Marneef, and he'll be able to catch up here in the final couple of laps at Barber here in the DW12 racing on the 16th Street Racing League here on RaceSpotTV. As Matt Pavelski, I think he might actually be coming up and lapping P6 pretty soon here. That is Christopher Demerit, which don't really know how he got his lap back. I believe it was when Matt Pavelski spun. But either way, this battle between Brendan Lichtenberg and Nigel Marneef is going to be the one to watch right now, as I believe they're the only two cars on track that are anywhere even remotely close to each other, as these DW12 cars seem to settle really nicely in keeping a couple of seconds in the front and a couple of seconds in the back. These drivers, of course, mostly oval drivers, but quite a few that are very skilled on the road course for sure. Matt Pavelski being one of them. Matt Pavelski, a name that I'm familiar with, as he's got a 41-second gap between him and P2 of Michael De Jong. Matt Pavelski, all last season, or I guess it would be 2 seasons now, he raced in the Lotus 79, and of course I do broadcast. While we don't do broadcasts, we do highlights there, and as such, I got to say Matt's name very good. I know that he is quite the road racer, was able to challenge some of the top drivers in Lotus 79, and it's good to see him rising to the top here at Barber in the DW12, as I believe that he is just coming to the white flag now, or if not now, very soon, as we are on lap 51. Now, they have changed how they list the things on the iRacing thing. It tells me how much time it is, and seeing as I don't believe this is going to be a 2 hour and 50-minute race, I'm going to say that we're on, it's a 51 lap race, Hugo? 53. Okay, 53 laps, so I'm not that off. I was rather in a hurry to scramble onto my computer as I came home, as, somebody, oh dear, Chuck Eisenbarth. You got to feel for him. He was, the leader just kind of snuck up behind him and scared him quite a bit, as he just lost the car and went right into the barrier there. That is very unfortunate, getting out of the way of the leader, as you don't normally like to see that. You can have a little bit of patience when you've got a 43-second gap like Matt Pavelski, so I don't think, I was right, it was 51 laps. All right, fantastic. So, with that, Matt Pavelski is then, I believe, either done, if it says lap 52, but he still seems to be going after it. With Michael De Jong just going to be crossing the finish line very soon. Brendan Lichtenberg and Nigel Marneef are the exact same gap. That's still that same 3 to 4 second gap. So it looks like the top 5, at least, are all going to be finishing nose to tail with each other, as Matt Pavelski is still circulating. So sorry for the confusion on these things. You think I would know, but I just, like I said, this late coming in coverage, as there now it is a 52 lap race. We were both right. It's I said 51, Hugo said 53. It's 52, as Matt Pavelski will win at Barber Motorsports Park, and he will crush the competition with a 45-second gap over Michael De Jong, and the rest of the field is Brendan Lichtenberg and Nigel Marneef. The gap still doing very similar spacings, as they do have a lapped car between the two right now of Austin Espedy, but that won't look like this should be influence anything, as Nigel Marneef and Brendan Lichtenberg are just too far to tango as they look to finish their race. Michael De Jong now crossing the start-finish line. That is just, it's a 47 gap at the end, a 47-second gap, and that's including Matt Pavelski spinning. Absolute dominance by Matt Pavelski over the rest of the field as Brandon Lichtenberg and Nigel Marneffe will cross nose to tail there, just a second between the two cars. Andrea Werner also coming in the last second there, and he's about 2 seconds back, with Christopher Demerit finishing out the top 6. Only 6 cars have finished on the lead lap. The first car 1 lap down is Gary Borkenhagen, as we will look through the field before, as we will go through the total field as Matt Pavelski does his rightfully deserved donuts on the front stretch. It is now going to be a top of Matt Pavelski, just as I said, dominating the race. Michael DeJong, a great race on his own. Brandon Lichtenberg will finish out the top 3. Nigel Marneffe will come down in 4th. Andreas Werner in 5th. Christopher Demerit, having recovered from that spin and that early pit stop, will finish in 6th. Gary Borkenhaven will finish in 7th. Matt Kingsbury will finish in 8th. Ellen Steffens will finish in 9th. And Rob Ungelex will finish out the top 10. Going further down the field, it will be Nathan Lamuth, John Prozac, Joe Branch, Austin Espedy, Nefri, Terry Mathiansen, Neil McBride, Brian Karzwowski, Brian R. Simpson, Chuck Eisenbarth, who had that very unfortunate crash getting out of the way of the leader, Matt Pavelski, as going down into the cars that did not finish. Mark Johnson, Eric Davis, Ray Kingsbury, Prey Bourdon, Jonathan Goke, Randy Crossnow, Ryan Horton, Dustin Ollis, Vic Caudill, Tim Miller, and of course the biggest one of the day, Tim Holgate, was not able to complete a single lap, as Matt Pavelski comes home with a win in an hour and 1 minute and 49 seconds. So I believe we are going to be going away for a quick commercial, and we'll see if we have anybody to interview at all. If not, we will go in through the final passages of the race, and that will be that. Okay.
Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR Highlights.
Hello and good evening, everybody. This is Cam Walsh with Hugo Louis. Unfortunately, I don't have any cool music to come into. It's just me. So we are going to look at the official results now having been posted. We have, of course, Matt Pavelski with that great win, the fastest lap of 1 minute and 4.502. Now that is on its own right, a great lap, but when you consider that Michael De Jong, who finished in P2, had the fastest lap of 1:05.7, almost a second and 1.2 seconds off of the fastest laps, is just very impressive from the young Matt Pavelski, as we will get Chris as Brendan Lichtenberg will finish in that third position. It is just, I don't think I can overstate enough to people who normally watch road course racing, having an exact same make car finishing 47 seconds apart between P1 and P2 is absolutely staggering, as they did all complete 52 laps. As I said, only 6 people finishing on the lead lap, which is impressive in its own right. As we did have that one caution, which took out the only competition for Matt Pavelski, as Hugo, I believe Matt Pavelski's asking for IP address on the YouTube shindiggle here, but unfortunately I have a push-to-talk button. I can't do 2 things at once. But Tim Holgate, you gotta feel for that guy. He had won the race at Phoenix. Very, very good, having started having to do 9 or 10 restarts off of the pace car. He came away with a win in a very dominating fashion, Tim Holgate did last week, and now Matt Pavelski has absolutely crushed the competition here on a road course. So Tim Holgate, though, just has to wonder what could have been, as Tim Holgate seemed to be the only car that had an answer to Matt Pavelski, being one of 3 cars that qualified to the 104s. Interesting to note here, the qualifying times, Matt Pavelski was once again the only car to get into the 103s, which is staggering in its own right in these Dallara DW12s. And, I mean, it's just, it was a, well, you would say it's almost a nose-to-tail race, but there's always a lot that goes on here, especially with the split strategy pit stops, as I came in just after the first round of pit stops happened, which were from laps 19 to 21, and then the other pit stops going all the way from, I'd say we started pitting on lap 35 all the way to 45. So anyways, we do have our race winner, Matt Pavelski, here today, as well as Brendan Lichtenberg. Everyone's just kind of showing up just as I was getting ready to wrap it up. So very nice, good thing we have is we have other voices here on RaceSpotTV, both Matt Pavelski and Brendan Lichtenberg. Now, Matt, of course, you're familiar with the Lotus 79, where we have leaders lapping the entire field. It's not something you normally see in the Dallara DW12, and yet you finished 47 seconds ahead of Michael De Jong, and that's even after spinning out. Matt, how did you do it?
You know, the guys at TVR really, they really did their homework, and we came out, I think Friday we really hit something, and for all the work we did, we came up with a really great set, and it really, made it a lot of fun because it did what you wanted to do. So I really can't thank them enough. Bill Frazier, Chris Demeritt came up with a great bit of setup work.
Yes. Now, of course, you did have that quick little scare there in the later part of that race. Lapped car got in the brakes and lost the rear end. What were you thinking as the car started looping around, entering that turn?
I wasn't really thinking at all. I mean, I just locked it up, making sure I didn't hit him, and in the process lost it. And the only real scare about it was trying to get back on the track without backing up into someone.
Yes. Now, so Matt, well, you've thanked everybody. You've got your win here. What does it say? Do you think that here on a road course, especially in one where we have this tight racing? Now, of course, Tim Horton was unable to really take the field, as we did have that massive incident on that first lap, which you don't normally see a safety car, but one had to be brought out. So where do you think going forward? Are you going to be one of the prime contenders here for road courses in the 16th Street?
I certainly hope so. I mean, if we can keep up this pace and this great setup work for our guys, I mean, I certainly hope, and it might be the case.
All right, Matt, thank you. Now, now we've got everybody. I believe we have the entire top 5 here. This is great. So, Michael De Jong. Now, you yourself had a spin or two, and of course, I think you were one of the last cars in the front lines to pit. You had a good race, but you still finished 42 seconds off the bat, off of the back of Matt Pavelski. But sometimes it's good to just be the best of the rest.
Yes, thank you. I had a good car, but I had no answer to Matt. I knew that from the start, so I just tried to consolidate second place.
Yes. Now I have to say, guys, I did come in a little later than we went live. I came in about lap 20 here. So what exactly? Where did this incident with Tim Holgate happen there, Michael?
It was before the start, actually. He spun his tires right as we were going to the green flag.
Really? Now I have seen that happen at Spa in a different kind of car, but that was just very unfortunate. Now that did collect a couple of cars. I imagine that the second starting car would collect a few cars. Now that kind of jambled everything up with the safety car, and then you're basically started behind the safety car. Did that change your pitting strategies at all?
Yes, a little bit. I was able to go the whole race without fuel saving. I was planning on saving some fuel in my second stint, but it wasn't necessary.
All right. Well, Michael DeJong, very good race there, and a couple of spins, but I think everybody throughout the entire field has spun at least 1 point. So,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Michael, good second place on you as we go to Brendan Lichtenberg, who rounds out the top podium here. Brendan, how'd your race go?
That was pretty crazy. I was right in front of that, not even the first lap melee, the pace lap melee, where someone spun right in front of me. And then the whole caution thing, which was kind of freaking me out, because somehow there's like 20 lap cars in front of the leaders, but eventually that was sorted out. Overall, I had a good race, though.
Yes, and so you were able to stick to the normal pit strategies?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised people were short pitting. I was prepared for long green flag runs. Eventually helped me out in the end, but I was worried it may not have been the right strategy.
Yes, now I believe it was either Nigel Marneef or you. Both of you guys seem to be passing each other, surely by spinning. You both had the same pace. So what is it about Barber that just gets this rear end so loose, do you think?
I couldn't really tell you. I think Nigel actually had faster pace than me. He actually passed me on the outside going the last two turns, so I was perfectly happy with 5th place, and the way it played out, I was sitting in 3rd, and I was like Senna at 91 at Brazil, like pointing up in the sky, wanting it to rain, because I wanted the race to end.
Well, thankfully you were able to hold on to it and finish out the top podium. Thank you very much for coming, as we do have Christopher Demerit with us here, finished in 6th position, our final lead lap car. Chris Demerit, now when I came in, you were running top 3, and you had a couple of spins, I believe, and of course, pitting, of course, never helps. But Chris, how did your race go?
It went fairly well, to be honest. Those 2 spins were going to happen. I knew that as long as I was consistent, I would be okay, and I'm glad I didn't ever damage my car. Racing, I have to say, racing with Nigel and Michelle for a good half of a stint when we had 1.5 seconds of total gap was just amazing, and
I believe it was between you, Chris, and Michael DeZong, where you two actually made wheel-to-wheel contact, I believe. Was that right? Was your car?
Yeah, that was into that hairpin left turn. I just didn't get on the brakes soon enough, and don't think either of us got damaged. I don't think he was mad at me, but that did happen.
Well, I mean, that was just a good hard fight for a position. The wheels just kind of bounced off each other there, and you guys were able to come in. That was definitely the battle to watch. And then, of course, you guys started really spinning out and spaced each other out. But thankfully, Chris, you were able to recover and finish here on the lead lap. Now, Barber, that's probably one of the more difficult race courses we are going to go to in the 16th Street, right?
I would say so, yeah. This is a racetrack that's always given me a hard time. As an overdriver, I'm not used to the elevation change mid-corner, so definitely something to get used to.
Yes, now, this is, I guess, just an open-ended question. This might not work out right. How many more road courses are we going to in the 16th Street?
Oh, I'm going to just guess here and say that since we have 16 more weeks. It's going to be around 8.
Okay, so it's definitely something that you're going to have to get up to speed with then, instead of like a normal season maybe having 2 or 3 road course adventures. Having such a long season is going to get you in quite a few road course tracks then, huh?
Yeah, I'm not too worried because I'm not stressing myself out on the road courses. My one main concern is just not spinning at this point. I've gotten what I've needed to learn down pretty much, and I just need to practice and practice.
And that's always a good thing to hear. Chris Demerit, we're hopefully going to be seeing, well, everyone that we've interviewed today going to be running in the top more positions here at these road courses. Now, where are we going next week?
That would be Motegi on the oval track that they have there.
Ah, very interesting. I've never actually seen an oval race at Motegi. So I guess then we'll go from there and we'll start closing up shop here on RaceSpotTV as we've run out of people to interview, and I won't keep badgering Chris about questions about why the sky's blue. So Hugo, I believe we are ready to start closing up shop as we will say our farewell. Hugo Louis, of course, on the cameras, bringing you guys great coverage of the 16th Street Racing League. And, of course, I'm Cam Walsh, the late arriving commentator, as, well, you know, there are some things that need to be learned about in the world that, frankly, you don't want to learn about, and Ebola is one of them. So, unfortunately, I was not able to make it for the race start, but we did end up having a good race here at Barber, and we will see you all in Japan on an oval, which will look to be very interesting. So thank you all for joining in, and we will see you all later.